Okay, Marion, the first thing I'd like to ask you, first of all, give me your name, please.
Marion Harper, the third.
Okay. Marion, why did you come to live in this area? How did you come to be here?
Moved to Cortez in the summer of 1997. I had just lost my grandmother a year or two prior to that, and I was kind of drifting, beginning to drift through life. I was 25 then, and I just didn't have a real sense of direction. I bumped into a guy one day. We were we were in a meeting. We were doing some 12-step work, and we just kind of hit it off. He was a couple years older than me and had been able to, been able to pull himself together. We were kind of street kids then, and I just kind of told him what my situation was, what I wanted to do, what I wasn't able to do. I didn't have an education. My family was kind of spread out all over the place. He loaned me a couple $1,000s and said he knew of a town and a place that I could come and just get started living life. And I had never heard of Cortez. I had heard of it a few times on the news, just on the Weather Channel. They would talk about the weather or something, but I had never imagined it as an actual place. He loaned me a few grand, and I came on down, and I stayed for about 6 months. I stayed that summer and that fall, and it was the strangest place I had ever been to. I'd never been to a town so small. My neighborhood is bigger than Cortez, and Mancos, and Durango. I just couldn't believe that this was a real place. I kept thinking that there was just something beyond McElmo's Canyon. It was right on the edge of a big city. You just had to go that way a little bit, or that way a little bit. And it was just a fascinating place. While I was here that summer, I met a woman, and stayed in touch with her while I was gone. I also met another group of friends here. We had some philosophical and religious things in common, and I also stayed in touch with them, with that group. And I left here around Christmas of that year, and went to the Bay Area. Went back to California and spent a couple years there, all the while staying in touch with my new friends here. And California is huge, and it's a busy place. It's a whole lot going on there, and I decided that I wanted to leave, and I couldn't think of anywhere better to go, so I came back here to Cortez.
What do you love about Cortez and why?
Moving to Cortez is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. God, I love so much about Cortez. The rich Native American culture is probably what's really kept me grounded. I lived south of town here on the reservation for 5 or 6 years. I have a wife there, friends, and cousins. I like the Native American heritage here. It keeps me connected with my spirituality. It keeps me connected with the earth, really. Um, I love the Anasazi ruins. I'm an avocational archaeologist, and I love hiking the back trails and exploring the ruins. It's so small here. I mean, it's so small. I just feel, after all this time, I mean, it's a part of me and I'm a part of it. It's just, I've always felt like I had found a new home here in Cortez. And I just like the challenge of being just a black dude way out here in suburban, suburban, sub-rural Montezuma County. There's a lot that I love about it here.
So you do feel attached to Cortez?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've created a space for myself here over the years, and I travel a couple times a year, and I've been all over the United States since moving here. I was in India a couple years ago. Spent a couple months over there, and I just couldn't wait to get home. I couldn't wait to get back to Cortez. It just feels so right for me here. It's really one of the best decisions that I've ever made, moving to Cortez.
What would you miss most if it wasn't here?
I would probably miss most the quality of life that I have now. Living, being born and raised in an urban area, and I've lived in the Denver metro area. I was born and raised there, and later I spent about a decade in California, Oakland, and all up and down the coast. And I just miss the quality of life. I would be a far different person if I had not discovered Cortez than I am now, and that spiritually, which is probably most important, I would just be a completely different person if I hadn't found Cortez. It's really been it's been a very healthy place for me, a very good place for me.
As we look towards the future, what would you like to see improved in Cortez?
Well, no. Cortez is cool, but you do have some serious issues here in the community. It's really, really racist. It wasn't that bad for me at first until I got married to a Native American woman and was able to catch the brunt of white racism. And it's really, really ugly. It's really, really ugly, and it's really Cortez is one of the most retrogressive places I've ever been in my life. It can be an ugly place. You got some really, really mean, ugly whites here in Cortez. And, it's taken me years to learn how to kind of steer clear of them, how to recognize them first, how to spot them. still working on it.
You had
Yeah.
you had spoken at the community connections meeting about the education system. Do you
Yeah.
still feel like that really needs improvement?
Oh yeah. I mean, the things that brought me here to Cortez are a lot different, and the things that have kept me here are they don't have as much to do with I'm here really for spiritual reasons. Spiritual and psychological reasons is been good for me. But the town is so uh, you know retrogressive in a lot of ways, in a lot of social ways, and I mean even culturally, it's retrogressive. There's a lot of issues that need to be looked at. The education is one of them because when you haven't had an opportunity to be exposed to things and you just don't know, and some people say ignorance is bliss, but and I guess it can be, but ignorance is just plain old ignorance, and it kind of keeps the town, it keeps the county, it keeps everybody kind of in a stuck place. It's really hard to grow when you don't know any better, and when there's nobody to show you another way. You just kind of mired in ignorance, and so it starts with education. And not just in the schools. I mean, just education. Period. Better internet access. Better. Just catch up to the 21st century, and whatever that takes will be an education in itself. But you start laying the foundation for the long-term improvements that make seem to me to make a more vibrant and open kind of community, I guess.
Okay. Since we're talking about what's important for the whole community, can you explain why education and internet access is important to the whole community?
Yeah, of course, because Cortez is not a rich town. There's a lot of poverty here. For it to be as small as it is, it's just really, really, it's mired in poverty. And because it's so far away from the urban areas, they get all of the attention, they get all of the resources, they get all of the exposure, everything that you need to grow and be better. You can find it there in the city, and you can't find it here. It's too small and it's too isolated.
When you leave Cortez and come home, what is it that you really look forward to coming home to?
Just being in a place where I fit in, where I know the people, where the people know me. I mean, it's home. I'm 40 years old now, and I've lived here since I was 25. And it's even when I go to my childhood home, it doesn't feel like home the way that it used to, and the way that Cortez feels now. This is where I decided to stake my claim, and I've always been willing to ride it out. And I guess in making that kind of commitment to something, just I bought into it. So I'm here, and I just the weather's good, the mesa, the people. Cortez is a great place in spite of the challenges that the town is facing.
Is there anything else that you'd like to talk to me about?
I do talk, but no.
Okay.
Keep it clean, keep it positive. And, maybe if you want to we could do an interview talking stuff.
Okay, we can do that at a
We
later
talk a
point.
little stuff, but keep
Okay.
it positive and talk about what's good about being here and how positive it's been for me.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you talking to me and taking your time.
Appreciate the interview.